Welcome back to Drift and Decode, and for our Tech Spotlight video for today, we're going to be talking about the SOQL wildcard search in Salesforce. If you're familiar with your SQL select statement for wildcard selection, it typically goes on this format. So in SQL, we're using select asterisk from account, where ID ... So select is your opening statement. The asterisk or asterix represents the wildcard selection or wildcard search. From account is the object where you're going to be retrieving your information. And where ID, where is your, or the where clause is your filter criteria. If you want to further narrow down your search results, so you can use the where clause and other clauses for you to drill down and narrow down your results. So in Salesforce SOQL, we also have the same format. And in SOQL, we have three options, and we're going to be using the fields function in Salesforce. So the first one is select fields all from account limit 200. So select is your opening statement, fields all is your function, from account is the object where we're going to be retrieving the information, and limit 200, we're going to be limiting 200 rows of information on our SOQL results. So fields all basically will retrieve all of the fields from that particular object. The second option is select fields custom from account limit 200. So fields custom will only be retrieving the custom fields from that object. So for example, if you have created trading name, alternative name on your account object, so these custom fields will be shown on your fields custom SOQL results. The last option is select fields standard from account limit 200. So field standard, as the name implies, will be retrieving all of the standard fields from that account object or any other object where you're going to be retrieving your information. And if you notice here, we use the limit 200. So limit 200, again, it will only show you the first 200 rows of information from that particular SOQL results. So I'm going to show you later on why we need this one and what happens if we're going to be removing the limit 200. So let's go now and try those three different SOQL query options. So let's go to our setup. So on the gear icon here on top, click this one, but we're not going to go to setup. We're going to be going to the developer console this time. So click developer console and it will open up a new screen where we can be, we're going to be using the query editor for us to put in the SOQL queries. So at the bottom here, we have the query editor. And on the first box on top, this is where you're going to be entering your SOQL queries. And at the bottom box, this is where the error messages will be shown. And at the very bottom left, we have the execute button if we want to execute the SOQL query. So let's try the first option that we have discussed earlier. So let's try the fields all function. So select fields and then parentheses, fields all. Let's put in the object. So in this instance, let's use the account object. So select fields all from account and don't forget to put in the limit 200. After you've done this one, at the very bottom, click execute. And if you notice here on the top portion, we have here the query results and we have 14 rows at the moment, which means that we have 14 rows of information retrieved from the account object. So what's going to happen now if we will remove the limit 200 on our SOQL query? So let's try that one. So on the query editor again at the bottom, so I'll just zoom that in. So let's remove the limit 200 and then click execute. So as you can see here on the bottom box, there is an error message that says the SOQL fields function must have a limit of at most 200. So that is a standard rule that is being enforced if we're going to be using the fields function. Hence, we always need to append the limit 200 criteria. Right, so let's try the second option. We're going to be retrieving all of the custom fields from the account object. So again, on the query editor, instead of saying all, let's replace all with the word custom. And in this case, I only want to show the first 10 rows of information from the account object. So instead of limit 200, let's replace this one with limit 10. And again, click the execute button. And on our query results, it only returned the first 10 rows, and the custom fields are specified as the column headers. The third option is fields standard. So let's just quickly go back to our query editor again and replace the word custom with standard. So we're going to be retrieving all of the standard fields from the account object. So select fields standard from account limit 10. And again, click the execute button. And if we go back to our query results, so we have here 10 rows of information again. And on your column headers, it's a bit small and a bit narrow because we have a lot of standard fields from the account. But you can always adjust the column width for this one if you want to know more about the particular field. And there we go. So the fields function is supported in Apex, Salesforce CLI, your SOQL language where the query and query all functions are both supported, and likewise on your Lightning platforms for REST API and SOAP API. And that's our video for today. And if you want to learn more about Salesforce tips and tricks, some new contents, new releases, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below for you to be updated on some future releases. See you on the next one.